All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 30 of our podcast. Episode 30. Cool.
Very cool. Bit of a frost this morning. We need to clean the undersides of these chairs.
I've had enough.
We've done. We're finished.
So
We're packing it in.
That's it.
This is our breakup podcast. We're breaking up. Caroline's too much of a Yoko Ono.
Yeah. Episode 30. Excellent.
Very good.
Considering we were worried we jumped the shark by episode 10, we managed to add another 20 hours worth of top quality content on top of that.
We make no apologies.
No, none at all. Right, beer of the week. Now this week's podcast is a little bit strange because we're actually recording this on Monday.
Yeah, Monday night.
Normally we tend to record on a Friday night. So we're recording this on a Monday night, and with that in mind, the beer of the week this week is coffee.
It's coffee.
So coffee, of course, is brought to you by the kettle in Anthony's kitchen, and I'm getting a really strong coffee flavour.
I am too.
From the coffee.
A lot of burnt notes.
Yeah.
I will say the company that produces this coffee is a small, little-known company, quite indie, called Nestle. Nestle are known for their human rights abusers, for stealing water supplies from African countries, and pretty much strangling water supply and
refusing to guarantee that they're not using child labour in the production of their chocolate and things like that.
So we're supporting this week.
So on the only scale that matters, Anthony, what are you giving the coffee this week?
For how much it's helping me get through this turgid existence. Probably an 8, really. I'm feeling an 8. No, that's too much. I'd say maybe a 7.1.
7.1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go, for once I'm not going to lowball you.
Yeah?
I'm going to go for a 7.12467.
Reoccurring
what I'm going to go. Yeah, reoccurring is what I'm going to go for this coffee.
That sounds fair, actually.
I really think so.
Yeah. You've obviously thought it through.
I'm so tired.
Yes. Why are you tired, James? What's the reason you're tired? And what is the reason we're recording on a Monday?
Yeah.
Monday night?
We're recording on a Monday, and thank you for being so patient. And Ent and Caroline have been really patient. We're recording on a Monday because I'm in the middle of a show at the moment, and as much fun as it is to do, it's a bit of a slog. It's 3 hours, and it's pretty heavy stuff. So it's a bit of a slog. But
it's 3 acts.
With that in mind, come and see it. It is great. It is 3 acts.
Which means you get 2 breaks, which means you get 2 opportunities to get a drink from the bar.
Well, no, you see, because the thing is that we drink the whole way through the show. So actually it's 10-minute breaks to go and have a pee. Because I've never been so hydrated in a show in my life.
Oh, true.
Ever.
So what is it? Is it like coloured water or ginger ale or something?
It depends on which bottle somebody happens to pick up. It's generally
whiskey, tequila.
Yeah. It's generally Monique does a fine turn in Monique's also on the show with me. Does a fine turn in chai tea. So there tends to be like a cold chai tea on there.
No, that's good. It's a nice.
Or there's also, depending, sometimes it's just a normal tea. Or sometimes there's like a watered down ginger ale. So it just depends on which bottle you happen to pick up at the time. It's a bit of a surprise as to what drink you're having at the time.
But it is. I mean, I know James.
We drink a lot.
He's over it, but it is I haven't seen it yet, but I know the play. It's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and it's a phenomenal play, and you don't often get the opportunity to see it in Hawke's Bay.
No,
so
no,
definitely go and see it.
It is what we would call theatre.
Yes. Yeah. True theatre.
True theatre. It is a lot of fun. But that's why we were here recording on a Monday, and that's why we're drinking coffee and not beer, because we're sensible, grown adult people now.
Yeah.
Who don't drink on a Monday night.
Also because it's dry July. Just kidding. You got to be joking me if you think I'm not having a single beer throughout July.
Oh yeah, like
It's silly.
I'm not even interested.
I'm not part of your.
No,
I'm not
no.
interested in being a part of your Hallmark holiday.
No.
Like-
Yeah, do you know, just like I think this is how they're going to actually sneak in. You know, like, so you know the way they're like banning people from smoking and Grab, right?
Yeah.
So I actually think that this is how they're going to sneak in banning alcohol. Is they're just gradually going to make more months, because I'm pretty sure we had another dry month earlier on this year. So I'm pretty sure this is at least the second dry month this year.
Because don't they make one just before summer too? Because it's like getting ready for your summer body. Or some crap.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure there was one near the beginning of the year. I'm pretty sure there was something like, you know, recovering after, you know, Christmas and that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty sure there's like been at least one other dry month this year. So you see, this is what I figure. It's a covert plan to actually make alcohol like illegal in New Zealand. They're just going to increase the amount of dry months like a year for you know, and make people feel guilty for like drinking alcohol. They're not going to ban it. They're just going to be like, it's
going to be a
July.
stigma. There's going to be a
stigma. You should all like not drink for July.
They'll tax it through the roof.
No, I'm certainly not participating. Not that I don't generally agree with the causes, but
oh no, good on you. If you're doing it, whatever, that's cool. Don't really care.
I don't disagree with the cause if you're doing it for a reason.
Like if you're doing it for like a charity or something, that's great.
You're just not drinking. There's something wrong with you. I don't trust you.
Yeah. If it's just because you want to be able to make a post on Facebook,
then,
you know,
living my best life. Hashtag.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, actually, that segues quite nicely into what we're actually going to talk about for What's on Top this week. Well done. That's the completely unplanned segue. Well done.
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk a little bit, and we were sort of struggling a little bit to think about what we were actually going to talk about this week for What's on Top. And it's, again, not that we don't have things to talk about. It's just, obviously, with us all being so busy and schedules being so hectic and stuff, it's quite hard to, you know, sort of spend the time that we normally would, you know, sort of thinking around topics and what we're going to look at. However, so we're gonna put a whole heap of things in together. We were sort of talking a little bit today about people. What's the best way to phrase this? People who get passionate about stuff, but not just passionate about stuff. It's people
it's
who... It's
obsessive, isn't it?
Yeah, who are obsessive about something and take that to the point then when they think that everybody else has to live their life in the same way. So a good example of this is, like, we'll use the example in the public right now of, like, Israel Folau, right? Cool. Nobody's saying that you can't believe what you want to believe. Nobody's saying that, like, you know, you don't have the right to express your religion in whatever way you like. Like, if you know, if you know, you think that, you know, gay people are abhorrent and things like that, well then, don't be gay. Like, you know, that's fine. You don't have to be. Nobody's forcing you to be. That's not quite how it works, but, like, you know,
it's really not.
But, you know, nobody's forcing you to be. Like, but, you know, in my opinion, that's sort of where it ends. Like, you don't actually have the right to tell other people how they should or should not be living their lives. Like, and that's, you know, especially if you're in a position where you are in a position of influence, you shouldn't be telling other people how to live their lives. But I mean, regardless of whether you're in a position of influence or not, I don't think you should be telling other people how to live their lives.
No. Well, I mean, and the whole thing was, I mean, Flower was contractually obliged not to spread, well, not to be a dickhead, really.
Well, I also noticed he didn't take the bit from Leviticus that talks about not marking your body in any way or having tattoos or anything else like that, because that's abhorrent to God. But anyway, you know, we'll just you know, leave that bit out and go to the gay bit. But we were talking about this a little bit, and it was a little bit to do with Israel Folau, but it was also to do with a number of other things, and I'm sure we can all think about people who do this sort of stuff. So a prime example of this would be vegans. For example. Great.
How do you know? It's the classic.
Not that I
you
want to
hear
rag
it
on
all
people,
the time. You hear it all the time. The classic joke. But, like, how do you know someone's vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. You know, and that's basically what we're talking about. It's an obsession and forcing these beliefs on other people. To a point where it is an obsession, and you see it all the time on Twitter, for example, not just with veganism, but with many things where people just have one issue. They're like one issue people, where it's all they talk about. And sometimes they're quite hate-filled. I mean, quite a recent thing I've noticed in like the last... we'll get back to veganism, sorry. But like what I've noticed in like sort of the last few months is that there's been this huge surge of people called TERFs. Yeah. And these are trans-exclusionary radical feminists. And
what the fuck is that?
So basically, feminists who completely who disregard transgenderism.
Excellent. So we want rights for us, but not for other people.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
With you. Yeah, all right.
So, yeah.
All right, cool.
People who could be your allies, no.
Yeah. We feel like we're oppressed, but we don't recognize your oppression.
Yeah. Like it's a competition of
yeah.
So and what I've noticed about people who are like this, it's all they're obsessed about the idea of it.
Yeah.
They're obsessed, so obsessed that people who are against transgender people talk about transgender people far more than your average person.
Yeah.
And it's insane, you know, and it's like you get the same thing with homophobia. Yeah. People who are homophobic, they talk about gay people all the time. Like there's this obsession they joke about all the time.
Yeah.
It's this one, and that's what I mean by like one issue. And you'll see it on Twitter and you see it online a lot. You have those, you have those people on your Facebook feeds and all they, whether it's like far right politics. Well, you hopefully you've unfollowed those people, but you have people and all they talk about is this one thing, or like anti-vax or something like that, or some kind of pseudoscience. Or denying that CO2 emissions. I literally had someone the other day try and tell me that CO2 emissions are good for you. And in fact, and one of the examples used was, well, why do you think there's grass on the side of roads? It's because the emissions from cars...
Checks out. That's science for you.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
did you say, well, what you should do, right, just to test it, is shut your garage door, turn your car on, and we'll see how, how
it goes.
How much I've heard that you grow if you do that. Yeah. I mean, I think like what you're saying is also like it's not like being passionate about something, like, because you can be passionate about something and you can, in a constructive way, and that sort of stuff. It's like what you're talking about is that kind of where you start to use things like, and I guess this is where it really comes in, when you start to use conversation, you start to use social media, or you start to use things where you have a presence with other people, like, where you're in other people's space, where you use that to then jump on your soapbox and lecture everybody else about how they should be living their lives, or how, these people aren't really people, or this isn't right, or, that you're all dumb because you think this, or, those kinds of things. It's when it goes from being passion, like I'm going to use a really bizarre example. So I could be really passionate about Dungeons and Dragons. Right, I could be hugely passionate about it. Cool, spend my time doing that. Associate with other people who play Dungeons and Dragons, which you kind of have to, because it's you need other people.
Multiplayer,
I associate with people. That's all we talk about things. That's cool. Yeah. I don't even care if you're on Facebook and you're posting about stuff that you're doing.
But that's a hobby, isn't it? That's a passion and a hobby.
So I'm gonna So you're sitting there and you're going, right, okay, this is what I do. And even if you post on social media, you're like, hey guys, here we are, our D&D night. It's awesome, or whatever. I think what we're going to is where that then becomes, I play D&D, so therefore D&D is amazing, and I feel great about it, so therefore it should be compulsory for everybody else to play D&D, and if you don't play in D&D, you're a horrific person, and you should be forced to do it. That's the switch, So again,
and it's very gatekeepery as well, because the other thing with that as well is people who, for example, play D&D, it would be like, this smug superiority, like, you know, because that's where a lot of it is as well, isn't it? Like with conspiracy theories and pseudoscience, it's people feeling smug that they know more than all these sheeple around them. And,
I know more than
that.
you with your education and your book smarts.
Yeah.
There is, and I think we've mentioned this on the podcast before, and I think, you know, you see this especially in America, you know, with popularism and that sort of stuff, is that there is a real revolt at the moment against education. There is a real revolt against educated people, against you know, that sort of stuff. You know, we see it with climate change. There's a revolt against climate change scientists, or you know, that sort of stuff. We see a revolt against that. We see a revolt against scientists in general, with, you know, with any information that comes out that, you know, that big business or whatever doesn't agree with, then therefore, it's rubbish. Or there's a revolt against, you know, immunologists with things like vaccines. It's like, no, well, you know, or your books will tell you this, but I know in my gut that this is right or wrong. Do you know, there's a real revolt against education, or against knowledge as a thing. Like it's the same as, and this is where I'll talk about the veganism thing. You want to live your life as a vegan? Go nuts.
Yeah,
right.
Good on you.
You want to do that? Great. Look, I couldn't do it. If you are doing it for health reasons, good on you, because it's not an easy job. You have to think really hard about like what foods you're eating and stuff like that to be healthy. All of that sort of thing, to try and maintain your health and that sort of stuff. Same as any type of diet. If you want to be a vegetarian, if you want to be whatever you want to be, you know, go nuts. That's fine. The moment you start banging on to me, if it's a social choice, go nuts. I'm not going to stop eating meat because you jump up and down about how you don't like what's happening. I'm not going to do it. So, you know, I wouldn't mind if in the course of a conversation, if we were talking about something like that we had a conversation about that or whatever. I don't want to hear about it every time I sit down to a meal with you.
Yeah.
Because that's actually after a while it just becomes belligerent.
Yeah.
And then, you know, actually, do you know what? I'm not gonna not eat my meat. I'm just either not going to have dinner with you,
it doesn't become,
or I'm going to be worse, and I'm going to become a chop my nose off to spite my face person, and I'm actually going to eat twice as much meat as I would normally eat in front of you, just to annoy you.
It's not a conversation or an opportunity for them to educate you. It's an opportunity for them to sledge you.
Yeah.
And to feel morally superior.
Yes.
And
you know,
there's a big difference, and we're never ever going to come together as a species. And we're seeing this all the time now. If we aren't going to have civil conversations that don't just, you see it on the news and on the media all the time and on social media, just sledging. It's not about it's become less about educating the other person about your beliefs and more about making other people feel stupid.
Yeah.
For not you know.
Yeah, the negative aspects of a debate. Yeah.
For sure.
So not sitting there and going, hey, I think this and I actually think this is the best way forward, and that's fine. Look, I can understand why you think the way you think. I don't agree. We're not going to agree here on this. Like you know. And that sort of stuff. It's that idea of, you know, you score points by making the other person look stupid. So not by arguing, you know, not by arguing their argument, or not by having a proper argument or discussion, but by going, you know, you see Donald Trump do this all the time. Not arguing the point, not arguing about what's happening, either just blatantly disregarding facts and just, you know, who can sort of yell the loudest about, you know, what they believe. Or turning around and suddenly, you know, attacking somebody personally and being like, well, yeah, you wear glasses, so you must be blind, you know, so how can you see, you know, like stupid stuff like that actually has nothing to do with the point. And people go, such a great, you know, debate. No, like, you just completely ignore anything that you don't like.
No, but James, he's destroyed the libtards. That's where we're at now. That's where we're at. That's the level of conversation we're at now.
And you see it seeping into all sorts of things. And
you do.
And I have people that I am friends with on Facebook, and I'm not going to mention anybody, but I have people that I am friends with on Facebook, who I find progressively my Facebook feed is becoming progressively like that.
Yeah,
when people are posting things, they're not posting things about them. They're not posting things about stuff that's happening to them or whatever. They're posting stuff having a go at other people, or having go at groups of people, or you know, telling everybody how they're dumb and horrific because they know best and everything else. And it drives me insane. And it drives me insane for a number of reasons. And I know you feel a similar way. It drives me insane for a number of reasons. It drives me insane because, number one, I don't open Facebook or whatever else like that to be yelled at by a whole heap of different people screaming from their soapboxes about, Do you know, like Life of Brian? Like, where you have the like, what is it, the Prophet's Corner or whatever it is, and they're all standing there screaming these weird beliefs. It's like that. That's what Facebook has become. Like, or any social media. You get all of these people just screaming random bollocks, like, about how they're right and everybody else is horrific and all of that sort of stuff. So, number one, it annoys me. It annoys me greatly. Number two, most of the time, it is complete drivel.
Yeah,
like it is absolute complete drivel. Like they haven't actually, they found some pithy quote on, some other social media platform also put out there by a twat, who thinks that they've discovered the nugget that's gonna take down all of education in the 21st century, and they just repost it without actually looking into it, and then
or the context of the
person, or the context of the quote, or the context of the person, or the the agenda of the people, and then when they're pulled up on it, get angry. But there's just so much on there, it becomes too much to do that sort of stuff. And you just go, this is just a cesspool of a cesspool of awfulness. And I don't mean to have a go at vegans particularly, but it's just like the age-old joke of like if you have a vegan who does CrossFit, which one will they tell you about first? Like and again, I don't care if you do CrossFit, don't care if you're a vegan, don't care if you're a vegetarian, don't care if you're a Donald Trump supporter. Well, should have your head examined, but but if that's what you're going to do, look, if you are honestly a Donald Trump supporter, there's going to be nothing that I'm going to tell you that's going to dissuade you. Yeah, because you've already voted for it. I mean, because all of the evidence is already out there in front of you. He is a horrific person.
Yeah, so if you don't have enough by now,
you don't have enough by now. There's nothing that I'm going to say that's ever going to change your mind about supporting something like that. But I mean, look, you do you. You do you. If in the comfort of your own home where you are not harming anybody else, where you do you. What do you call it? I don't want to have it shoved down my throat. Now, you were mentioning this before in terms of, Israel Folau and that sort of stuff, and talking about, the Salem witch trials and how this is exactly like the Salem witch trials. Just for context, I was on, because how I came across this today, because I wanted to look at the new All Blacks kit. Because I saw a glimpse of it on the news this morning, and I wanted to have a good look. So of course you got Israel Folau and gay people, because that has to do with the new All Blacks kit.
Well, because what happened was I went on to stuff because they had it was the first thing that came up.
It was your first mistake.
Yeah, it was the and so I went on there and saw the new kit, and I thought it's actually quite nice. Like some people are like, oh, where's the white collar gone? What's we've had the white collar since the 20s, guys. It's time it's time to probably move on a little bit. But it looked really nice. I thought, okay, cool. I like that. Really minimalist. No AIG on the front. It's good. No corporate sponsorship. And then related articles. Apparently, there was a column. It was a column. So it was I can't remember her name, sorry, but it was a column writer for stuff. And the article started by saying that the public's stripping down of Israel Folau is the equivalent of the Salem witch trials. Which, just think about that for a moment, okay? Let's put this in context. This person, in their first paragraph, has compared a public undressing of someone to people literally being burnt at the stake and hung.
Well, and men.
Literally killed.
Women and men. But
literally been killed. Can you imagine that? To someone being called out and being a dickhead, making that comparison.
Yeah, the absolute difference, right, is that this is not somebody being called out for something made up. This is somebody being called out for something that they provably did.
Yeah.
Like they provably did something that people disagreed with and don't like.
Yeah.
And so because we called him for it, that's like the Salem witch trials. No. If people had said, oh, he doesn't have any gay friends, therefore he hates gay people and thinks gay people are abhorrent, we're going to persecute you and fire you because we now think that you think that gay people are abhorrent.
And kill him as well.
You know, that sort of stuff.
The death part's quite
then
important.
That's like the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that somebody provably did.
Yeah.
This would be the equivalent of being like, they caught that guy murdering those 6 people, you know, and now they're going to put him on trial and throw him in jail. This is just like the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
No.
Provably did it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if you are in a public position or you are somebody who has responsibility and you take money for that, and huge amounts of money, and Israel Folau is a very, very rich man. If you take, and again, I don't have any problem with him being rich. If he's rich, that's fine. But this is a man that has taken money for a long period of time to be somebody who is a role model, everything else like that.
It's written
He
into his
signed
contract.
his
Yeah.
contract. It's not something that he was unaware of. If he was unaware of it, then he's stupid. He should have read his contract.
Yeah.
And he turns around and does something that's an anathema to that, that goes directly across that, and then cries foul because people go,
Yeah. No, you
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You know, and you know,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with freedom of speech. It has nothing to do with anything else. You cannot make hateful comments about people or groups of people on a public forum or anything else like that.
No.
Just because you think, you know, you should be allowed to say whatever it is that you want to say. The problem with that sort of stuff is there are always consequences for things that you say, and there have been consequences. People aren't prosecuting him for his religion. He's not a martyr. He's somebody that believes something that is at odds with what we as society think is acceptable, and if it's at odds with what we as a society think is acceptable, then there are punishments for that.
Exactly. Do you think staff are feeling the pinch from NZ Herald? There seem to be, I don't know, or are NZ Herald offloading some of their columnists and stuff? Or, I don't know. It just sort of, I thought, oh, this is out of character for stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's usually, you know, maybe the new subscription paywall for NZ Herald's. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway,
yeah. Anyway, don't be a dick. I know we've said this multiple times. Just don't be a dick. If you
log off.
Yeah.
Log
off. Actually, do you
phone
know what?
bad.
That's actually
Black Mirror season 7.
It's actually
phone bad.
It's actually the best thing to say. Just log off.
Yeah, just log off. Actually, do you know the biggest problem, I think, with social media is that people need to buy a diary. People don't buy diaries anymore. Buy a diary and write all the stupid shit in there that no one cares about. Because then we won't have to, you know, it's not a diary. It's not a, it's, well, it can be, but don't be upset or surprised when people block or unfollow you or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately what should be happening.
I think that's actually the greatest, I think that's actually the best piece of advice I've heard all day. Just buy a diary.
Yeah, buy a diary.
Write it in there.
Yeah, write it in there and then burn it or whatever
you know, save. Yeah. Say, like, why don't we, you know, this is the thing that really gets me, right, is that I don't believe that social media is inherently bad or anything else like that. It's only as good, like any program, it's only as good as the people using it.
Like Charlie Brooker.
Yeah, like, but it's only as good as the people using it.
You're right, yeah.
So, like, you know, why can't we? Why do we always have to sink to the lowest common denominator?
We always fuck it up.
Why are we, like, just so horrific as a species that anytime we do these things, it's horrific? Why can't we spend time on stuff like that and go, do you know what? What I want to do is concentrate on, if I'm going to engage with social media, then the stuff that I'm going to put on social media is going to be stuff that's good, that's uplifting, that might, you know,
improve someone's
day. You know, if they're going through and they're looking at it or whatever else like that, you know, a place of positivity and awesomeness and all of that sort of stuff, because that's what it has the potential to be, not we just gradually sink into this cesspool of filth and
But you notice that's happened. That's happened as social media has had more and more people, and it's become more accessible to all people. You know, and you tend to see that trend when a social media site is quite niche. You don't necessarily have those problems until more and more people, and then you get the broader spectrum of.
Let's use it to lift people up rather than to drag people down.
Yep,
just
agreed.
Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, Uncanny Valley.
How uncanny is the Valley
How
today?
uncanny is the Valley? Like, I have a couple of things in Uncanny Valley
right.
that I have. Good God, so many messages on my phone. Okay, I have a couple of things that I thought you might find interesting. Actually,
it was almost like you were about to say funny, but then you thought,
no, not funny.
Not funny.
The first one actually is from Stuff.
Oh, okay, very good.
And I actually thought this was hilarious. How to load a dishwasher.
Okay.
So, producer Caroline is already
I'm already
frustrated in the corner.
Yeah, I'm already.
So okay. You see, producer Caroline has a particular way. Do you have a particular way?
Yep.
See, I have a particular way as well, right? Yep. And we all think that everybody else does it wrong.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Here you go. Thanks to research that has come out of the universities of Birmingham and Bonn, the ultimate way to load a dishwasher...
I'm glad the greatest minds of our generation are being put to good use.
Hey, marriages have dissolved over this, yeah?
Fair.
The ultimate way to load a dishwasher has been discovered, solving domestic disputes everywhere. Here's how you should...
enhancing them?
Here's how you should do it. Now, this apparently is scientifically the best way to load a dishwasher.
Okay.
Load your plates in a circle around the bottom, as it maximizes water flow.
Excuse me? What?
So they should go round the outside in a circle, apparently. Knives should go into the cutlery basket downwards for safety reasons.
For goodness sake.
But it doesn't matter for the other utensils. This is science! Use. Hey, no, look, I tell you, University of Bonn and University of Birmingham, respectable universities.
Birmingham, though.
Birmingham. Use tablets over detergent.
Okay, no, that...
Do not overfill. Stacking dishes one on top of the other defeats the good work and dishes don't get washed properly.
Absolutely. Yeah, no arguments here.
And as for the age-old debate of whether you rinse or not, the answer is no. The research says that if there is no food particles for the detergent to hang from, then the detergent will stick to other things, like the plates, and can cause cloudy wine glasses. Furthermore, the different colours on dishwasher tablets are indicative of the different chemicals formulated to clean different food types.
Interesting.
You also need to be careful in the circular arrangements of the plates and not block the soap dispenser. And of course, don't allow pot handles or tall utensils to impede the spinning of the water sprinkler. There you go.
Wow.
The most heavily soiled dishes or pans should go into the center of the top shelf. That's where the best water pressure is. There you go.
Just on the cutlery and
so
which
there
way
you
it
are.
goes up.
Look, there's a picture right there of the circular arrangement.
Wait a minute.
The circular
Oh,
arrangement
that's disgusting. There is no... I'm never doing that. We're so outraged that we've changed the lights.
The lights have changed. The lights
We've
will
had
come back.
It's the middle one.
The only thing that I have a problem with, right? The only thing I have a problem with in all of that, the only thing I have a problem with is not even the circular. I can understand how the circular arrangement is. We're just having lots of different light changes. This is
having
a
a
party.
rave, yeah.
I can understand how the circular arrangement is probably the most effective at cleaning your dishes, right?
Yeah.
It's not the most efficient.
No.
Because the way that it's arranged like that,
you
actually
can fit
not
like
getting
5 plates.
You're not
Well
getting
done.
enough plates and stuff like that.
That's so silly, and it's not actually how the thing's designed. You're going against the design of the rack.
However,
Silly.
there you go. You know. You have it in your hands.
The cutlery thing. So it doesn't matter whether forks are up or down.
No, but they said put knives that way round
they
for
should.
safety.
Yeah, because I've had a close call with that.
You got forked, did you?
No, I almost got knifed by a very sharp
Ah,
knife because
yeah.
some idiot, and
Who
you
shall
know who you
remain
are,
nameless.
some idiot left, and this wasn't here. So basically, it's either going to be here or work.
It's all right. Nobody at work.
Idiot at work
Yeah.
left a sharp knife pointing upwards, which is very stupid. Almost absolutely owned myself. But no, the forks. Okay, so forks can go down.
Yep.
Which is great because that's great for when you're pulling them out
Yep.
at the end. Okay, that's good.
Right. The second one. Wisconsin town passes city ordinance to fine parents when their kids are bullies. Shawano, Michigan is dealing with a problem that towns and cities across the United States are dealing with: unprecedented bullying. Children and teenagers in the last decade have taken bullying to entirely new, dangerous and toxic levels that have sometimes resulted in tragedies. Children as young as even grade school are committing suicide. So I don't think
grade school.
Yeah, I don't think that they've taken it to new levels. I just think social media has allowed access 24/7 to bullying.
Yeah.
What is a community of concerned parents to do? Well, Shawano authorities have decided it's time to put their money where their mouths are and have passed a city ordinance that will make room to fine parents financially when their children are repeat bully offenders.
Where was that option on SimCity?
Yeah, the townspeople have found themselves divided on the decision. So how did they come to this? So they felt that, they had to do something. So what does it look like? How do police determine that bullying has reached a point of requiring a fine? Is bullying subjective? Will kids just be kids? All of that sort of stuff are questions that sort of...
Will kids be kids?
Yeah, I know. However, according to the local news, under the new ordinance, a parent will be warned if police determine their child was involved in bullying. The parent will have 90 days to address their child's behaviour. After that time, if the police determine the child is still bullying, the parents will be issued a $366 fine. 2 offences in 1 year will equal a $681 fine. So I'm interested to see what you think. So they were talking about, the fact that 3 months, the 90 days, which is 3 months, gives, parents, maybe the kids can go to counselling, move on from there, get to know, come up with strategies to deal with it, all of that sort of stuff. This isn't generated towards kids being kids, some playground banter. This is the person that is meticulously using social media or saying things that are vulgar in an attempt to hurt, discredit, and deliberately demean a person. So again, I can tell you, in my job, obviously, I come across stuff like this. I can tell you there is a difference from a bit of niggle. What I mean? Where some stuff is said to systematic, shabs and bants, to systematic bullying. And there are people who systematically go out of their way to do this sort of stuff. So obviously that's what this ordinance is aimed at. What do you think?
So what happens if the parents don't pay the fine?
Well, then I assume that it happens in any other fine that you don't pay, so that you eventually can be prosecuted, or that the fine comes with interest and everything else like that.
So is the theory that it'll force the parents to actually address the problem?
Yeah, to actually take responsibility for, if their child is a repeat offender.
So I guess my next question is, then, I think you know where I'm going with this. In your experience, have bullies had parents who have been aware of this behavior, or who have enabled... I guess this is probably
it's a difficult question to answer, because it depends on the kid. There are times when kids are bullies and it has nothing to do with their parents. There are times when parents refuse to see their child's behavior as being wrong or something different. I guess that what it does in this particular instance is it requires parents to be more aware of stuff like that, of like, for example, what's happening with their children on social media. So if their children are on social media and they are communicating and that sort of stuff, and that potentially you're going to get fined if your kid's consistently bullying somebody or something like that, you're probably going to come down like a ton of bricks on any kind of stepping outside of that line. If you know what I mean, or you're gonna be really aware of that. I think it also motivates people. It motivates parents, motivates families, it motivates that sort of stuff to do a number of things. It motivates parents to stop their own kids bullying, but I think it also motivates people to report it if it is happening.
Yeah.
Because there is something that can potentially come of it.
Yeah,
if that
and I
makes
think
sense.
it's good as well because, I mean, bullying quite often isn't taken as seriously as it should be.
Yeah.
And we all know that.
Yeah.
But it also means that it's not going to go on, like, it's not a crime. Like, this isn't being treated like a crime.
But I
It's
suppose
like a harsh warning.
I suppose
a
to a
hard
certain
warning.
extent it is.
Well,
police-
it is, but I mean, it's not going to go on a criminal record.
The police, but it gives the police something else to like do. If you get what I mean, like it's
so
not,
the police can actually do something.
there is a consequence for
which is
like,
great. Which is
rather
great.
than jumping straight to and in that case you're
they're
sitting there
just
going,
kids.
you're sitting there and going, right, you've had multiple offences here. We know you've had multiple. You've been fined here. You've been fined here. Now we're taking another step rather than just it's zero or the kid gets like, I don't know, arrested or whatever. Like, there's something in between. Like,
absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to go back later on and see
how it does.
whether incidences of bullying.
Yeah.
And where they're using it as an idea that, bullying leads to other horrific things like self-harm,
Oh, of course.
suicide, that sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see, like, if you go back in a few years' time, it'll be interesting, after the passing of this ordinance, it'll be interesting to see whether incidences of things like bullying, suicide, self-harm, that sort of stuff have actually dropped. Whether that,
absolutely.
Whether that has actually helped it or not, or whether it's actually made no difference, or, whether it is something that is easily enforceable, or,
It's a great idea.
it's an interesting idea. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I hope it. Yeah, it's one of those things you definitely really have to. There's so many aspects to it, and
like with any law, it's very well and good to make something illegal or whatever. But you have to also be able to enforce it. You have to you have to have effective systems of reporting.
Is this also going to be one of those things where it'll harm the most socioeconomically not well off?
That's the other question.
People who are more well off will go, whatever. Timmy can, have another fine. Oh, this is ridiculous. But I'll pay it because I don't care because I've got.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. All right, cool. Moving on. 30-second waffle. Now, I think I went first last time.
Oh, did you?
I think it's you.
Okay.
All right.
It's a me,
Mario.
Anthony. All right, what have I got here?
You can pick from one of the two that are in there.
This is for me.
For you, yes.
It's from Discord, from Ted Star. Hi, Ted Star.
Hey, Ted Star.
Oh, God.
What?
Why performing Grease must be a requirement for all actors going to the big stage. So, big stage. So, okay.
I suppose it depends on what you define as being the big stage. Okay, here we go.
Grease should be a requirement for all actors before going to the big stage because it is the perfect coming-of-age show that highlights all the best aspects of American theatre, including teenage high schools. High School Musicals, another big example of that. Bring It On, the musical. The greatest musicals of all time. And also, great... It has a bit of everything. Great dancing, great singing, and you need to be able to do that in order to do theatre. I found that one really hard because it is really silly. It's just really silly. I actually like Grease.
Do you?
I think it's had its
bits
time,
of Grease
but
I like.
think, yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those. It's like one of those childhood things that you sort of like, Yeah,
I wouldn't be in a rush to do it.
No,
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's all right, but I wouldn't be in a rush to do it.
But, yeah.
All right, give us a question. Let's do this. See if my tired brain will work.
Yeah.
This is a Discord question from Evie. Why jonesing should be in the dictionary? I'm assuming that says jonesing.
Yeah.
Why jonesing should be in the dictionary? I know that I've got 10 seconds to think, but this is probably going to be a relatively short answer. I think you'll find that jonesing probably is in the dictionary. Maybe not the Oxford Dictionary, but I think you'll find that it'll be in like Urban Dictionary or something. There is a I bet you if you go online right now, you will be able to find a definition of jonesing, which would imply that it is in some form of dictionary. So why should it be in the dictionary? Because it's already in the dictionary. That's why it should be there. Case closed.
It's pretty compelling. I mean, I actually I saw the word used in an article, quite frankly, the other day. Because it's like one of those things where, like, when you get a new car and then you start seeing that car everywhere.
Confirmation bias.
Yeah, confirmation bias. That's it. And and I saw it, and I think it was it was used in quite a funny way.
You see, I love how, like, whenever I said it, people lost their minds about this word. I'm like, maybe it's an old person thing.
It was because of how sincere you were, and I think it was the context.
The context,
well, yeah. You said you were really jonesing for
jonesing for. I can't remember what we're jonesing for. What was I jonesing for?
Oh, baked beans or something. Beans.
Cold spaghetti on toast.
Cold spaghetti on toast.
Yeah. Which is a sentence.
Jonesing for the.
Yeah.
You thought you'd never hear, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Cool. Here we go.
There you go.
Looks long. Okay. Ant, Discord at Esoterica Superfan.
Okay.
It's Esoterica Superfan. Why any role that Keanu Reeves has ever played in his career would be better if Danny DeVito. Could you imagine Danny DeVito in The Matrix?
Wow!
Could you imagine Danny DeVito in... Oh my goodness, what else is he in? What was it? What's something he's been in recently?
John Wick.
Oh, John Wick. Could you imagine him? Danny DeVito blasting out. Danny DeVito is also hilarious. His Twitter's fantastic. Trollfoot is really funny. Sunny in Philadelphia. Could you imagine his character in Sunny in Philadelphia being John Wick?
Bill and Ted.
No, I am. I'm just saying stuff. He's in Bill and Ted. Oh, it'd be the best. Like,
I mean, it would be
so
amazing.
funny. Him in The Matrix, though. He's the one. Could you imagine it? The one who'd be like, what? Like, and the problem is there's not much dialogue from The Matrix by
It would certainly have a different timbre to it, wouldn't it? The whole film, the whole franchise.
When he's getting the first Matrix film, when he's getting the insect thing.
Yeah.
Like, when he's like, what'd you put in me? Like, that whole scene would be so funny.
Could you
and when it finally comes out, he'd be like, what is that? Like,
could you imagine him doing the whole, like, slow motion backwards thing to avoid the bullets? It'd be amazing.
His hair.
Yeah.
It's just his gut. Like,
that's beautiful.
That is
It should be
fantastic.
done. I would love somebody to computer generate that.
Could you imagine, picture the scene, Cyberpunk 2077, you start to see this figure, and could you imagine if they used, like, Keanu Reeves' legs? And for some reason they're really recognisable, and Danny DeVito's, like, torso and upper half, and his face, and could you imagine, like, everyone getting real excited because they've heard rumours that Keanu Reeves is going to be out, and they start seeing it, and they're like, oh my god, and then, the camera, it tilts up, and then leans over, and he's like, get up, and it's Danny DeVito's face. It'll be amazing. I'd much rather Danny DeVito in Cyberpunk.
That'd be kind of cool.
You could see him working some odd, like, little trinket store
nobody would be,
Neo Tokyo.
Like, nobody would be disappointed if it was Danny DeVito.
No.
Like I imagine, like, a much, like, because that's a cool, weird, like, alternative casting.
Oh,
like,
totally.
it would be, like, I could imagine much worse. Like, if you'd been like, can you imagine if instead of Keanu Reeves doing all of his roles, it was Orlando Bloom? Yeah. Like, you see, that's terrible. That would just be like, ugh. Yeah. Like, at least with Danny DeVito, you're kind of like,
get a bit of personality.
that's interesting and weird. It's kind of cool
and funny. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Last one. You've got one for me.
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Okay. Careful, lol.
Oh,
okay, this is from Esoterica Superfan. Again, I'm a bit worried about this one. Why former what? Dr. Andrew Wakefield, founder of the Vaccines Cause Autism movement, should be regarded on the same level as Isaac Newton or Stephen Hawking. I am already angry about this. Okay. He should be regarded in the same frame as Isaac Newton or Stephen Hawking because Isaac Newton got hit rather hard over the head with an apple, and Stephen Hawking died of like muscular dystrophy. So I think if he got both of those things, smacked in the head very hard, and died of muscular dystrophy, that would do the world a service. There we go.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I can't even pretend to be like,
awful
you know,
human being.
Or like I think I think like if I would have a lot more respect or patience for him if he'd got it wrong. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he'd done the experiment and he believed he'd found it and he believed he'd been like, right, no, this actually, Jesus, this happens, and you know, done his best to actually do something scientific, and just got it wrong. I would be like, wow, okay, big call, but you know, you did what you thought was right. The fact that he deliberately fudged the science, that's harmful
and purely for monetary gain as well.
That's
I think that's the whole point. The whole point of a scientist, and this is something that like people cannot for the life of me like wrap their heads around. Is that scientists get all of their theories peer reviewed. Yeah. Peer review happens for a reason. It's to get verified by other scientists. That's just how it goes.
It's like, again, as I said, if he just got it wrong, I would have understood that. But deliberately fudging it and deliberately fudging something so harmful and has had... I mean, I also think he probably didn't think about the ongoing... Like, I don't think he thought that it was going to end up the way it has ended, if you get what I mean. I think that the whole anti-vax movement has been an unintended consequence from what he did. I think he... But you've got to double down, right? So I think it's an unintended consequence because I mean he was developing his own vaccine at the time, like, and that's what it was to prove, was that the current vaccine was not as good as his vaccine was going to be. So you know, I have no respect for him at all as a human being or as a scientist, if you can even still call yourself that. I think.
Well, no, you can't because he's discredited.
He's a doctor. He was stripped of his medical license, wasn't he?
He's no longer. So I mean, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Are we gonna? This is like one of those weird mirror things. Thank you for joining us here on episode 30. Thank you for waiting for this one to come out. I know it's going to be a day late.
Yeah. Sorry if it missed your Monday commute.
Yeah. So, but thank you for being so patient. Thank you for joining us all on the streams as well. We've had some good numbers and good people out there on the streams coming to see us and doing lots of stuff. And we'll be back on Wednesday with Spyro. Some more Spyro for you all.
Spyro, Purple Dragon,
which people seem to enjoy. And I will have a look at Dishonored 2 for
yes, because you completed it.
Finished Dishonored 1,
nice.
So we will
nice.
maybe have a look at Dishonored 2.
How more Dishonored can you be?
Well, you see, I'm quite glad because everybody's everybody's quite glad for me to continue stabbing people in the face, which I'm quite happy about.
Whereas
so
I'm now
high death toll.
Can you see the sort of the contrast here? So that's what James is doing, and meanwhile I'm freeing the dragon race.
That's right.
And collecting gems.
Yeah. Whereas I'm just stabbing everybody that's vaguely walking around. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you on the streams. Check the links down below if you haven't joined us on things like the Discord or on Twitch. And we'd love to see you over there.
Stay warm, everyone.
Awesome.